As informational writers, we've got to leave a lasting impression on our reader, and that's where the ending comes into play. The ending is where we really convince our reader that our topic was important, and it's important to remember. So looking at the informational writing rubric, it says exactly that. It says, in my conclusion, I suggested clear implications to and strengthen the potential significance of the topic. And you can see the key term there is significance of the topic. So as I say down below, the key to a great conclusion is convincing the reader that your issue is important to their lives. And you'll notice I placed emphasis on the word their because we need to be thinking about our audience. Who is our reader? What type of person are they? How are they going to be thinking when reading our informational text? So you've got to be thinking about who your reader is. So when you're writing your text, you should have a target audience in mind. You shouldn't write a text, especially an informational text, for just anybody, for the entire population. That's just too broad an audience. We want to narrow it down. So think about the topic. Are you writing for someone with a really high education? Are you trying to impress them with really big words? Or are you writing for maybe an elementary or middle school audience who doesn't have a giant vocabulary? Are you writing for men? Or are you writing for women? They're going to want to hear different things. Same thing with kids and adults. Adults are looking for different things than kids are. Maybe there's an entire another audience that I haven't even thought about. But you need to think about who you're writing this text for. And ultimately, once you figure out who that is, you should ask yourself the question, why should this reader care about your topic? So why should they care? Well, there's a couple questions you can think about to generate some of those ideas, and I've listed them on the screen for you. With informational text, a common thread that you're going to come across is thinking about the future. What does the future of this topic look like? Is it something to be excited about? Can we look forward to it? Or is it something that is maybe in danger or something that we should be worried about in our future? You might also want to think about, will it have an impact on other important things in our world? People, events, places? Will it change us for the better or for the worse maybe? Also, did it influence other people? Maybe you're thinking about something that's not around anymore. Maybe it's a famous person like George Washington who's already dead. Did he have an influence? Did he change people or make a big change to our world? Clearly we know George Washington had a huge influence on our world and on our country, so that would be something you might want to talk about in your conclusion. Finally, can your reader get involved in this topic? That's a great way to get your reader interested, to get them, it's called a call to action, to kind of get them involved and wanting them to do something about your topic. You also want to think about this though. If they can get involved, why is it important that they get involved? How do they go about doing that? So these are some things you can think about to generate some ideas about, why should my reader care about my topic? Once you've figured that out, it's your job to really sell it. It's one thing to figure out why they should care. It's another thing to communicate that to your reader. And the key to this is that you've got to convince them. So you really want to focus on giving them step-by-step explanations. It's going to feel like you're explaining all the basics all over again, and that's okay. You don't want to miss anything. You really want to give them lots of detail and lots of explanation. If the writer sees that you're not giving much explanation, they're going to think that this isn't that important of a topic to talk about. If it was so important, you would write a lot, correct? So when you give lots of detail and explanation, your reader is thinking in your head, wow, this writer is passionate about this topic. Maybe I should be too. So the detail and explanation is really key here. That's how you sell it to your reader. So the last thing I'm going to leave you with is an example that I just wrote a few minutes ago. I just wrote it about a topic called nuclear energy, which is just something I knew about. And you can read it, and what you'll find is that I talk about the future of nuclear energy, and I talk about the positives and the negatives. And at the end, I kind of let the reader feel like, man, this is a crazy future that might remain. Maybe they'll have an impact on, whether it will change us for better or for worse. So pay close attention to that. I really tried to elaborate and give my reader detail, taking them through step by step over the really big, important ideas, and really showing them how passionate I was about this topic so that they would care too.